Last month, I walked in the New York Fashion Week, and I'm never doing it again. So, this all starts the evening of Sunday, February 2nd, and I'm at the gym. I'm on the Stairmaster, and I get a DM from Mia Swimwear. Now, Mia is a Toronto based designer who I walked for 3 times in 2023. Her and I have kept a really good relationship. She messages me saying, Lex, I'm going to New York Fashion Week. And I know with her reaching out, she is asking me to join her. So while I'm on the stairs, this huge adrenaline rush hits me, and I go into planning mode. And I'm looking into flights, and we're figuring out hotel. And before my cardio session, 35 minutes before my cardio session is over, I have booked my flights, and I'm going to New York. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 5 days. I am flying to New York City to walk in New York Fashion Week. I want it. I want to say it's a dream come true, but like, I didn't even ever think that this was the plus. Wow. I need a spray tan. I need to get my eyebrows done. Where's my passport? So there was some initial panic and a lot of excitement and a lot of adrenaline, but I had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday just to like get my shit together. So got my spray tan, found my passport. On Wednesday, I did my check-in updates and my measurements, and I hit all-time lows, and it was a really good space to be. However, I also noticed that my lower belly measurements were increased, which means my period was coming at some point in the next couple of days, but there's not much we can do about that. And then on Thursday, I hit a really hard leg day. It was going to be my final training session before going out to NYC with my really good friend Estera. So here's some clips from that.
All right. What? I got that. Easy. That is motion. Three, two, one. Woo! Ready. Both of my knees just cracked in like 4 spots. Yeah. Yeah, she did it. How you feeling? In one word, sum it up.
My flight was at 11 o'clock in the morning, drove the hour and a half down to the airport. Going through security was not a problem at all. It took me like all of 15 minutes. And then when I got to the gate, 15-minute delay, 30-minute delay, turned into 2 hours of delays. But this is why I booked one of the earlier flights. And then when we finally got on the plane, it was another 30 minutes of sitting on the tarmac. Thankfully, I used all of those delays to go through my client check-ins and messaging back and forth so that when I landed in NYC, I didn't have to worry about my clients not being taken care of or being rushed there. The flight from Toronto Pearson to LaGuardia was about 90 minutes. I listened to a podcast, I had a snack, and then just looked out the window and kind of watched the world go by. It was my chance to breathe before things got crazy. And it was really cool flying over the Hamptons and seeing the scale and size of the properties out there. And then landed in NYC, got my Uber.
In New York, we're here, baby. It's crazy. I haven't been to New York in like 6 years. Feeling a little nauseous
because of nerves. I was burping all of last night. Like when I get nervous, my digestion goes, "Oh, we don't like you." Also, haven't really been hungry. Um, yeah, last night I was sitting on the couch and my heart was racing with the thought of what I was doing in 24 hours. And then I woke up with a red whoop recovery today. So, like, just a sign that my body is stressed going into this. Did some non sleep deep rest on the plane. Going to continue to do some deep breathing. It's all going to be worth it.
Ended up getting to the hotel around 3 p.m. So still had about 3 hours until we had to be anywhere for hair and makeup. So that's where I had some snacks, did a little bit more client messaging slash back end reporting stuff. One thing to note is I brought all of my meals with me. I did not buy a single food or beverage item in New York City. I brought steak strips slash beef jerky with me. I brought edamame beans. I brought some oats mixed with some maple syrup and some hemp hearts. So all very low volume, low density food so that it wouldn't distend my stomach, but I was still able to fuel myself and have energy to keep me going for the 24 hours that I was in. Not even 24 hours, maybe like 18 hours that I was in NYC. Around 5 p.m., we left the hotel room. It was about a 10-minute walk to the venue, and we got to walk through Times Square, which is always busy, always bright, always very overstimulating. And then got to the venue and found out that our hair and makeup wasn't actually at the venue. It was another building that was about a 5-minute walk. So we walked to the hair and makeup location, and they said, nope, we're not ready for you yet. But we met up with some of the other models. Now, these models are like young. They're like 18, 19. I'm 30. I'm the oldest model of the entire group. They were like, oh my God, Bad Bunny is in New York. Like he's in Times Square. We should go check him out. I don't know who Bad Bunny is, but I was like, I have nothing better to do. I'm only in New York City once. Let's walk around and see if we can find whoever Bad Bunny is. Turns out, after 20 minutes of walking, he was no longer there when we arrived to the location, and then we had to walk 20 minutes back. So now it's closer to 6 p.m. And we go to the hair and makeup, and they're like, we don't have everything that we need from your designer to be able to do your hair and makeup. So we're like, okay, we're going to wait around a little bit. We ended up going back to the main venue location to speak with Mia, and it took a while for them to figure out like what is going on with the hair and makeup. So finally it is now 7:30. Keep in mind that our show starts at 9 p.m. So 7:30 we start hair and makeup. They need us out of there within like 45 minutes, and that is rushed. Like for hair and makeup, it's at least an hour, hour and a half, had to be done in 45. So I did not get any like eyelashes or eye makeup done. I had my foundation and my shadow. And then I think I was one of the only models who actually got her hair curled. The other girls had to like bring our own curling irons and do it backstage because they were rushing us. Yeah, it was a bit of a shit show, a lot of a shit show. So that was the first thing that was rushed. And I started to feel a little bit overwhelmed, being like, oh my gosh, we're not going to be ready. My makeup is not fully completed, but it was what it was. So now it's 8:15. Runway show is supposed to start at 9, and they bring us to the venue and they present us with our get ready area. This is a swimwear collection. Okay, it is Mia swimwear. So we are all going to be in bikinis. And the area that we had to get ready was literally the narrow service hallway behind the venue, separated by curtains. So, like, if any of the audience had turned around and pulled a curtain back, they could see us. There was no area to change. They found us one of those like pop up tents, but this is a dark hallway. There's no lighting. Like, we have to use our phone flashlights to be able to see stuff. Mia was like sewing people into bikinis, and we're all shining our flashlights so she's able to see. There was no place to put our stuff or our valuables. There's male servers walking back and forth. It was just like not what I expected, but speaking to the staff, they're like, yeah, this is kind of how we run it. And I was like, okay. So again, we got there at like 8:15-ish. At 8:45, after rushing through getting everything on, like I loved the bikini that Mia put me in. It had this like beautiful little gem heart and then some like safety pin accessories on the hip. But they rushed to line us up, being like, show starting at 9, 8:45, everyone get in line, put on your heels, leave all of your stuff behind. We do that, and then 9 p.m. rolls around, and then 9:15, and then 9:30. So it is now 45 minutes where we are standing backstage, super crowded. Fire safety regulations out the window. Like, there were so many people back there. It was so busy and so packed. We could not sit down. We were not allowed to leave to go back to the hallway that was literally a 30-second walk to get our stuff, to get a drink of water. We were not allowed to go to the washroom. It was like, you have to stay here. And we're not allowed to sit either. And then it's 9:30 and then it's 9:45 and we still have not started. Like the show did not start until I'm going to say about 10:15 because the previous show they were trying to like clear out the venue, but some people were trying to stay for the following show and like sneak in for free. So there was delays in getting the show running, but they were so like have to be ready so early. So by the time that the show started, and then there were a couple of designers before us, by the time that we walked on stage, it was 10:45 p.m. We had been standing in heels for an hour and 45 minutes, and about halfway through waiting, I started my fucking period, and I was not allowed to go to the washroom. So I was constantly like, that would be the worst case ever for me to walk out and have like streaks down my legs. Thank God I was in a black bikini because any other color would have been awful. And by the time that we got to walk, I was exhausted. And honestly, I just wanted it to be over. And that's not how I wanted to have my New York Fashion Week experience. I wanted to be fully present. The 30 seconds on the runway were amazing. Like the adrenaline high and the heart racing that you have before you walk out. I don't know. It wasn't what I hyped it up to be in my brain. The production and like the LED screen on the stage and how it looks like you're walking on a beach, and that was cool. And the production visuals and the venue was beautiful, but the organization behind it just like wrecked my nervous system for someone who loves plans and routines and for things to go according to plan, and having ample rest just wasn't something I would do again. And then when the show was over, remember all of our stuff is in this like dark hallway. There's people going back and forth. Mia, the designer, and then one other model from Toronto and myself, we were all sharing a hotel room. So Mia could not find her jacket at the end of all of this because it was just pure chaos. There was stuff everywhere. So we spent an hour and a half looking for her jacket. Can't find it. So instead of walking back to the hotel, we Uber back to the hotel. And by the time we get back, it's like 2 a.m. And I'm super wound up, but exhausted at the same time. I have to be out of the hotel at 7 o'clock in the morning to get my flight, and didn't get the greatest sleep because New York City is really loud. I live in the country. The loudest thing that I hear sometimes in the middle of the night is a train. But this was not a great night's sleep. Woke up and Whoop was like, yeah, you have another red recovery. You only got like 4 hours. Good luck. It was my dad's birthday, so landed in Toronto, celebrated with him, got to the gym again, trained some upper body, did some stairs.
I miss you. Oh, I miss you. So many smooches. Wow. Hi. Hi.
Now, I'm super grateful to have had this opportunity. I recognize that there's so many people out there that wouldn't ever have this presented in their life, and I don't regret doing it. But I just know that if that is the level of organization or lack of organization, and that is going to be the experience, and talking to a lot of the other models who were doing like 2 shows a day and like 4 shows back to back, like I have so much respect for them because that one instance fatigued me and there was no way I could get on a runway the following day or the day after that or do multiple shows. That's just too much for me. And yeah, that's just, I'm never going to do it again. It is now the Monday after New York Fashion Week. We are officially in the single digits. We are 9 weeks and 5 days out from competing. I'm supposed to do a lower body day today, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to test the waters because Thursday, walked in New York, like flew to New York City, walked on the runway Friday evening, flew back Saturday. So the day before that, in my lower body training day, in my second set of leg extensions, the first rep that I did, I heard and felt a pop in my left knee. And I was like, I don't fucking have time to register this or even like just push through, finish it, fly to New York, stand in heels, like backstage at the runway for an hour 45 before walking out and just like focus on that. But now that that's over, I'm really starting to pay attention to it and it doesn't feel good. It's not necessarily sharp, like it doesn't hurt when I put pressure on it, but it just feels like this constant burning tightness. Like, you know, when you stretch your neck and you like really pull it, ooh, there's a crack. But it feels like tight and almost burny. That's what my knee feels like all the time.
So I have reached out to Dr. Khan's team at Eterna Health. Dr. Khan is like the regenerative medicine specialist in the entire world. I was really fortunate to be connected with him back in 2018 when I herniated my disc before he like blew up and started to be such a prestigious person in the industry. And then I saw him in 2021 for the same knee, PRP treatment for an LCL tear that I got way back in the gymnastics days that no one could find. And then I also had hamstring tendonitis. So got PRP treatment 2 weeks back to back and felt significantly better. So I'm like, I need help. Part of me thinks this is meniscus-y. And potentially tearing your meniscus at 10 weeks out is not what you want to do when you're stepping on the pro stage, especially because I'm doing fitness, and fitness is very like quad dominant. But I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna see what I can train. My mindset is I can train around this. I can always train around something. It's not like, oh, we're not competing, oh, we're not stepping on stage. May have to drop out of dance. Probably not going to snowboard for the rest of the season, but I have my priorities, and that is stepping on stage in 9 weeks and 5 days.
So that leg extension on the Thursday before I left, where my knee cracked in 4 places, was not just my knee cracking. And it has been quite the challenge to overcome, but that is a story for another video. Stay tuned for that update because there's a lot.